Well, if you're a bird lover or a nature lover, there's no shortage of wetlands that are beautiful across coastal Delmarva that you can enjoy. But even if you're more of an indoor kid as opposed to an outdoor kid, there's a reason you should care about preserving them. And we want to start instilling that mindset in them young. We've got Mary Barneby joining us on the CoastLife couch today, author of Exploring Wetlands, Nature's Quiet Wonders. You've written a book, and it's geared towards a certain age group to start encouraging them to care about wetlands. Why?
Why? Well, it's written for kids in the age group of 10 to 13, and it's really because we have such a big issue going on right now with destruction of wetlands. They are disappearing all over the world, not just here in Delaware, but all over the world, and we need them. They're so important in terms of protecting us from flooding. They're home to so many amazing creatures of wildlife. And when they disappear, it creates so many problems. So we really want young people to start becoming champions for these wetlands, because they're being destroyed day by day. Some naturally through climate and things that happen, but also through destruction by humans and people that aren't being careful about protecting them.
So you've done so with this book,
and two books.
And two books. Yeah, we do have a baby edition.
My passions, my babies.
Yes, and
my late life babies.
Yes. So when kids in that age group or adults alike flip through this book, what are they going to kind of see inside? They've got some activities to do.
Yes,
how is this? It's very interactive.
It's very interactive, and what I wanted to do was to really take kids from what is a wetland? Where are wetlands? They're all over the world, and 70% of the world is covered by water. So it's so important that we protect those resources. And then what? Who's in those wetlands? Like, it's, you drive by sometimes, you don't even think about the amazing species of birds and fish and insects and creepy crawlers and all those things that are living there and depending on it for their survival. And then I really want kids to understand why they're at risk. And then what can they do about it? How can they take action to really make the world around them a better place and to do something positive and teach their parents?
Yes, I love that
Bring
too.
that conversation from the schools or from the library into the home.
Yes.
And Mary, this is something that you're clearly passionate about. Where did that start for you, that passion?
Yeah, I was kind of dumb about wetlands. Really, seriously. I mean, I grew up in New York, and my parents would drive us by the meadowlands in New Jersey, and like we'd hold our nose and we'd go, ew, we're by the,
Does get a little stinky in the marsh.
Are really creepy. And then all of a sudden I was living in a town in Connecticut by the water, and I started to realize there were two big storms, Irene and then Superstorm Sandy.
Oh yeah,
and
big storms.
I lived by the water, and people's septic systems were being like flooded and exposed, and the community was going through such a difficult time. Roads were flooded, and I realized that a lot of development was going on. Big homes were being built on these wetlands. There was a proposal to flood one of the wetlands to build a marina. And I became very interested to say, we need these wetlands. So I became kind of a pain in the butt.
As you sometimes have to be.
And I was part of a commission in town to really look at our coastal resiliency. And that's when I started to learn a lot about this. And I said, I don't trust the adults. They're not paying attention to this. So that's when I had this dream that I would write this book for kids so that they could become champions and they could start to realize how important wetlands are in their communities, and they could really go to their schools and tell other kids and do projects and like I said, educate their families on how important it was.
And you said you learned a lot along the way. What was the research like to put this together so that you had all the right information?
Well, the good news is there's a lot of information out there. In fact, in the book there's a whole appendix of things that if people want more information. So, we're very fortunate now with the internet. There's so much that you can learn. I remember when I was a kid, I had to have these big encyclopedias, like
card catalogs,
go to the Dewey
microfiche,
Decimal System. And now you just kind of go and you just like Google things.
You got vocab words. This is great.
And I think if you're a teacher too, it's a great little tool if you want to teach the kids in your in your class about this, and you could sort of break one chapter out at a time.
Yeah.
And really, but if you're a kid that just likes to sketch, my best friend from high school is the
I was going to
illustrator.
say the illustrations are beautiful too, and
that
there's
is
a
my
connection
best
there.
friend from high school, and so that was funny when I got back with her, and I said, "Come on, Maureen, be my illustrator."
I love that.
And she did the drawings.
gorgeous.
They are
and-
incredibly
Yeah.
nice. I love these.
Yeah, so it was a labor of love,
For
and
sure.
and I'm just really pleased that it's done, and I'm thinking about doing one on bird migration because
that.
there's such a very interesting thing going on in the world. So many species of birds are disappearing, and the wetlands are like their little hotels on the road.
We talk about it a lot
Yep.
on the news side of things, what they're doing to try to encourage some of those that wetland protection, but also for the areas for birds to land and be
Yeah.
safe and
And
be
where were
able
they
to
going
do
to
their
go?
jobs.
You know, if their wetland disappears, and they need the fish to eat, and the fish need a place to go lay their eggs, and so there's so much going on in there that
It's all
you know,
interconnected.
they're quite wonderful.
Yes. Well, this is clearly a labor of love with a lot of information and a lot of ways to get your kids inspired. If parents are hearing this and they've got a little marine biologist in the making, or they would like to, you know, maybe have their kids learn something new, or a teacher is interested in getting this in their classroom, where can they get a hold of your book?
They can buy it online in any of the big outlets for
Perfect.
online book reading. Yeah.
So it's pretty accessible then. That's
I love that.
fantastic.
Yeah.
And we have two titles, right? We've got the My
And that's
Blue
for little
Heron.
kids.
This
That's
is for a
cute.
younger set if you want
I
to get
love
them kind of having some fun.
I have a passion for herons too.
Oh, they're-
Since
because
I
they're
moved
beautiful.
to Delaware, they're just such amazing creatures.
They are.
So that's a story about two little girls who visit here from Philadelphia. And,
Fantastic.
As
they
many do.
discover the wetlands.
Perfect. Well, so yeah, start your younger kids on this one, and then they can graduate to this one.
Exactly.
Mary Barneby, thank you so much for coming
Thank
in
you
today
both.
and sharing your passion with us, and hopefully with many generations to come.
Yes.
Well, Charlie's got to go get ready for Coast TV News at 5, so we will let him get down the stairs, but we do have a little bit more Coast Life to get to after that.